Hey Valley Middle, welcome back to another math video. Tonight we're going to be continuing our work with equations. Before we do that, I'll start off with a trivia question here. Here are two of my favorite TV shows growing up. This was on from 4:30 to 5. This was on from 5 to 5:30. I'd get off the bus about 4:15. So it was snack, and then these two shows was my after-school routine. Can you name either of them? Be back with the answer to that after instruction tonight. Officially, our target. I can write an algebraic equation to represent a real-world situation. Let's take a look at this. So our goal tonight is to write an algebraic equation. I know we're all going to be tempted to solve it, and solving problems is easier than writing algebraic equations by a long stretch. So let's just go through this problem. So Casey and Tara raked a lot of leaves this weekend. They raked a total of 100 minutes. Casey raked 40 minutes. Write an algebraic equation that would help you figure out how many minutes Tara raked. Well, when we think about it, solving it, that's easy. Kind of the mid-level thing is choosing the correct equation to match this situation from a list, such as a multiple choice test. The most challenging is actually writing the equation. Let's take a closer look at how I would like you to go about doing that in these situations. You got to start thinking about, first of all, what you're trying to do. In this situation, we're really trying to figure out how many minutes Tara raked. That's what we're trying to figure out. The second thing we're trying to figure out here is what variable you're going to use. So if you're using it for the amount Tara raked, I'm going to use T for Tara. So I've chosen my variable. The third thing you need to do is just solve the dumb problem and figure out what it is. So 100 minutes total minus Casey's 40 minutes would equal 60 Tara. So now I've got my answers figured out. I have the problem figured out. I just have to write the equation. So let's look at that more carefully. So I solved it with subtraction, so I'm going to use the opposite operation to write it. So I'm going to turn that around, I'm going to use addition to write the equation. So I'll use T for my variable. So here's the amount Tara raked plus the amount Casey raked, and here's the total. Notice that the variable and the number on one side of an equal sign balance out the solution on the other. You always want the variable over here with the operation. You don't want the variable to stand alone. In other words, you don't want 60 plus 40 equals T. You want the variable with the operation. The operation means multiplication, division, addition, or subtraction. So, of course, you can check your answer to make sure it works right. You substitute in Tara's answer. Remember, you solved it for 60 minutes. 60 minutes plus 40 minutes equals 100 minutes. Or Tara's minutes plus Casey's minutes equal a total of 100 minutes. So using this process, we can solve a lot of problems and write a lot of equations. So let's just try to use the process. And what I did was I put a little cheat sheet up here. These are the questions I ask myself. First of all, what are we trying to figure out? I choose a variable. I figure out the answer. I solve the dumb problem. And then if I solved it with subtraction, I'm going to write an addition equation. If I solved it with addition, I'm going to write a subtraction equation, and so on and so on. So the opposite operation is what you use to write it with. So multiplication, solve with multiplication. Write with division. Solve with division, write with multiplication. So I'll have this little cheat sheet available there. So let's look at two more problems, and I'll have you try some on your own. Chris gets 3 new video games. Now he has a total of 10 video games. How many games do you have to begin with? Well, we can solve that problem so easy. So let's just kind of follow the system. What are we trying to figure out? Well, we're trying to figure out how many games he begins with. Okay, the next one. Choose a variable. I'm going to use G for the games he begins with. It makes sense. Okay, solve the dumb problem. Well, 10 games minus 3 games equals 7 games. That's what he had to begin with, 7 games. So now I got the answer down. I solved that with subtraction, so I'm going to write it with addition. So here's the games he started with. I'm going to add the 3 new games, and he has a total of 10 games. When you think about it in this way and breaking it down, pretty soon these steps become automatic, and you can do this. Very difficult target. Let's take a look at another one. This isn't your turn yet. I'm going to do one more, I decided. In 2 years, Sydney will be 14 years old. How old is she right now? All right, well, let's think about that. What are we trying to figure out? Trying to figure out how old Sid is right now. Okay. What variable do you want to use? How about S for Sid's age now? All right, solve the dumb problem. Well, it's going to be 14 years minus 2 years is 12 years. She's 12 years old right now. So I solved it with subtraction, so I'm going to write again with addition. So Sid's age now plus 2 more years is going to make 14 years. Situation, or the equation makes sense. It matches the story. And did you notice how I said Sid's age now instead of just saying S plus 2? What does S mean? You have to say or think that so that you understand if you had your equation right. All right, I got two you try problems here. Pause problems, whatever you want to call it. Why don't you go ahead and give this a shot? I've got the questions up here, and you can take a look at those. Go ahead. Okay, Raekwon has 24 pieces of candy, gives them all the way to some friends. Each friend gets 4 pieces. How many friends does he give candy to? All right, Raekwon was one of my favorite students from a few years back. All right, write an equation that represents the situation. All right, well, we're trying to figure out how many friends he had because he gave his candy away. They each got 4 pieces. We're going to use F for friends. That's the variable I chose. It made sense. And let's solve the dumb problem. Well, if you took 24 pieces of candy and you divided it, if you took 24 pieces of candy, each friend got 4. 24 divided by 4 would be a total of 6 friends. So let's put this together and see if this makes sense. 4 pieces of candy times the number of friends he has, or 6, equals 24. Here was the division. We solved with the division. We write with multiplication. All right, let's try another one. Go ahead and pause the video and try this. Making cookies, she wants to make sure that 10 people each get 3 cookies. How many cookies does she need to make? All right, let's figure this out. We have to write an equation, represent that situation. So we're trying to figure out how many cookies to make. And for variable, hey, let's use C for cookie. That makes sense to me. All right, now solve the dumb problem. Well, if 3 cookies for 10 people would be 30 cookies total. Okay, so we solved the multiplication, so this one's going to be written with division. So if we take the total number of cookies, we divide it by the 10 people, they'll each get the 3 cookies. So total cookies divided by 10 people, 3 cookies each. It makes sense. Again, I'm not saying C divided by 10, I'm saying what that C represents. That's the key. More important than any of the other steps is inserting what the meaning for that variable is. That's especially important when you enter into a situation where you've got a multiple choice question and you've got 4 answers and they all look good. If you say what the variable means as you go through there, you'll help understand and eliminate some just ridiculous possibilities. All right, here we go. Again, I know you're going to be tempted to solve these. That's why I've got the arrows pointing down here. You're just going to write equations for these situations. If you need to solve it to figure out which operation to use to write the equation, that's just fine. But I'm not interested in the solution. I'm interested in the equation. First problem, there are 48 rooms in a hotel. 30 of them are occupied. How many rooms are vacant? There are 28 kids in math class. I put them into 7 different groups. How many kids are in each different group? Go ahead and do that. And we'll look at the trivia question. From my youth, this was Hogan's Heroes. Very funny show. There were a number of seasons, I think 5 seasons of it. This was Gilligan's Island. Another very funny show. You may have seen this one around. I think this one is on some of the old channels too, but Gilligan's Island has lasted a little bit longer. These guys are all castaways on an island. These guys, these people here, these 5 gentlemen, are all prisoners in a prisoner of war camp in Germany. They're both sitcoms, which means they are not funny shows. They were just fun. All right, take care. Have a good day.